Hello, America. I'm just a man. Approved. I'm also certified in fuck around and find out. And I figured, because I'm so approved and so certified as a man, I should probably be testing all these Chinese companies that keep coming out, because the more they keep coming out, the more you guys keep buying them. Banggood, AliExpress, TEMU, all these other places. And I realized that there's no legitimate tester out there actually putting these things through the ringer. And I figured, why not take a professional fuck around and find out guy and do it properly? With that being said, the legend behind me, the lab coat, is the legendary Kurt the Coat. He'll be supervising this shit show that will be going on. He's not a man of many words, but when he does say things, I promise you, it is intriguing. Everything that comes out of his little trench coat mouth is intriguing. But that being said, he's just here to make sure that we remain OSHA approved, if that's possible. And also, in the words of my man FPS Russia, yeah. And remember, safety is #1 priority. So, shout outs to him, even though he's not around anymore and the government pretty much made that dude disappear. We still love you, bro. Shout outs to you. And without further ado, let's test some crappy Chinese products and get to this. Let's go. Hello, America. Got another one for you today. I am somebody who likes to alleviate having too many large tools around. And I have a bench grinder, and I thought to myself, well, I started seeing all these TEMU attachments for drills, and I was like, how many of my actual tools can I eliminate with just accessory attachments? And then I found this one. So if you guys saw my review of the chainsaw, I really enjoyed that. So I looked at this bench grinder, this very cheap bench grinder that takes an electric drill. It's supposed to take a wall drill. You're supposed to take a drill that plugs into the wall like this, and you can see how these tops are designed, because that's supposed to fit over that and then tighten down. And it's supposed to have the right RPM range to do that, as you can see. But I was like, man, then I'm giving up a good drill, right? It's wanting me to keep it attached like that, and I wanted something simpler. So I was like, I wonder if I can make this work. Well, I'm here to tell you I can. I wanted to make this available to people that just have basic electric, battery operated stuff. So I actually customized their design slightly, so you can do it this way, and we will test it that way as well. But I wanted to show you that you can just slide this right on in there and turn this until you find the teeth fit in perfectly, like so, just like that, and then you tighten it down. Make sure you lock it into place. And there you go. Now the one thing you want to remember here is that you don't tighten this down too much. You just want this piece tight enough that it's not actually gripping the head, because that has to spin. And what happens is you have to set this on the side of a table, because you'll see it has 4 mounting bolts, right? So if you see those 4 mounting bolts, okay, what you do is you basically put it on the edge of a table. It's not really a way I can show you this other than a box. You would mount it on the edge of the table like so, but your drill would be turned sideways. So you would essentially be mounting it like that. So if you had it set on there, you can see that it would sit on the side of a table just like that, and this would overhang. And the reason that you have overhang is because the wheel is actually lower than the bottom of the table, or you could mount a small piece of wood under this. And that's it. Now this is locked in and ready to rip. So I can use this with an electric battery operated system, as you can see. So you would put your 4 bolts on the edge of your table. Now I don't know if you guys know, but bench grinders are huge. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is actually a nice little setup. I could literally just mount this on the side of my table, slide my electric drill in real quick, fit the head on, tighten it down, and that's the extent of it. But then I was like, oh man, there's a big difference with these. They have a locking head. You can actually push these down, and then there's a button right there that allows you to lock this into the on position. And I was like, well, how can I do that with an electric battery-operated drill? So to simulate the same results. And what I came up with was I fly drones. This is a battery strap for a freestyle race drone. And I thought to myself, well, now if I just, let me take the battery out so that I don't activate the drill, but I thought to myself, like, what if I just pulled the trigger, right? What if it was down and I just went like this and just sank the trigger and then tightened it like that? See what I'm saying? It holds it open. When I'm done, let it off, and the trigger just comes loose. So it was literally that simple. You would just set it down, tighten your trigger to the speed that you want slowly, and then just put the Velcro on. It'll just stay on while you do your grinding. And when you're done, just reach down, undo the Velcro, boom, trigger comes back out. And then you can remove the strap if you don't want to use it. It goes back to being a normal drill. As with this, because you didn't tighten this down, and it's just free riding on there, all you would have to do is go the opposite direction, unlock this, and it slides right out, and it stays on the end of the table, and you've got your drill back. Back to normal use. I did all that in a matter of seconds. So, I've designed it both ways. I thought that would be a fun way to show you this, but what I wanted to talk about the overall build quality once again, because just like the chainsaw, this thing impresses me. I did have to buy the grinder wheel separate, so you were able to buy the base. The base comes with like 2 large washers. You can see those washers, one here and one on the inside, and the bolt. It does not come with a grinder wheel, and you get to select your color and grade of grinder wheel. The grinder wheel was $2, and the base was $6, so still under 10 bucks. I thought this was a pretty good deal because I'm like, man, I will show you my outside bench grinder so you can see how large it is, but I was like, if I can cut out having to have that massive bench grinder and go to something this simple, I'm fine with that. And even if I did have to go this route because the, electric battery operated Ryobi doesn't quite do the job and I need more RPM, I can still connect this to it and still have a bench grinder and alleviate the need for having a bench grinder this big out of my tool deck. Look at the difference in size. My bench grinder outside is literally that big in comparison to this. This is this big. If I can get this to simulate the majority of the stuff I do at my house for a fraction of the price, because my bench grinder is old, but it was really expensive. It's a pretty high grade bench grinder. It'll never die. But if I can simulate about the same thing, I would like to do that. So overall, this thing, the bearings in it are pretty good. I would say the wheel itself wasn't exactly made the best, but it's not going to matter because once you start grinding on the wheel, it will start to get smaller. So no matter what, grind wheels will get smaller as you go. But that's pretty much how you do it. You mount it on the side of the table so that this overlaps over the edge. You can't set this down on the table because otherwise it'll roll. See what I'm saying? Or you can put a nice big flat piece of wood under it, drill to it so that it stays up enough. Whatever you want to do. You can make a portable bench grinder on the fly if you need to for tool sharpening, whatever you want to do. But I do use my bench grinder a lot with the type of work that I do, so I thought this would be a good addition. If I find out this works well enough, I will probably remove my bench grinder and take it off the table so I have more workspace. But today we're going to test all of this. I want to do a nice thorough test for you guys so that you have an idea of whether this thing sucks or whether it works. So far, I would say, overall build quality, this thing's solid. The bearings that they use look like they're pretty solid. I can feel the grease in there. Everything's rolling fairly smooth. So, I mean, it's pretty hard to screw this up. The welds look like they were pretty decent welds. You can see they did a great job on the welds. Paint looks fine. It's a very simple platform. There's not much to it. So now that I've devised a way to use it with a wall plug drill and my electric battery-operated driven Ryobi, let's take it outside and see how it works. So I have a hatchet that really needs to be sharpened. Last time we took it camping, the kids were banging it off rocks and the concrete and all sorts of stuff, so it's not sharp anymore. So I figured, hey, what better way to start testing this is we'll start with the battery-operated one, see how it does, see if I can get it sharp, and then if it doesn't, we'll switch over to the big, high-powered electric monster over there. I'm hoping we don't need to because it would be great to just have this simple little setup as the thing that we get to use. Because let's face facts, this is just a really simple system, and I would rather have this system than that system. But if I can't, it is what it is. I bought it. It was cheap. I'm not worried about it. If it sucks, it sucks. If it works, it works. So just get my strap ready here. There you go. That's it. Just have the strap on the ready. Attach it. Let's go see if we can sharpen one of these axes. Let's go. So guys, before we get started, you can see I screwed it down to that board. I don't want to attach it to my table yet, just because I haven't figured out the best place I want it, so temporarily I just attached it to this little board. And if I like it, I may actually just leave it like that and just cut it off. And yeah, we'll see. That way I can make a portable one. But still, I wanted you to have a look at this axe. As you can see, it's pretty rough. I don't know why this isn't zooming in, but there you go. Zoom in. You can see it's pretty dinged up and gnarly. It's definitely not sharp like it was. The kids really hacked this thing up last time we went out. So definitely not very sharp. It's extremely dull at this point. So let's see if we can put a decent edge on this using just my Ryobi on speed setting. Awesome. And yeah, let's see if this thing throws sparks. That would be pretty cool if it throws sparks. I would be surprised. We'll find out real quick if this thing moves fast enough. And remember, safety is #1 priority. Wear your eye protection, guys. Let's see if my drill idea here works with this Velcro strap. I'm going to put it on speed level crazy and send it. Looks like it's working pretty good to me. All right. Oh yeah, I got a good grind across there. Look at that. Wow. Buddy. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Way sharper. Holy cow, look at the edge you put on that thing. I don't know if you guys can see that, but man, oh man. That is very sharp. Alright, let's hit it from the bottom now. Give her some beauty, Mark. Wow, this thing is sharpening up like crazy. By the way, the reason I started going up first instead of down is because it had some big chunks in it that I needed to take out quickly. Oh my goodness, this is so sharp now at this point. This is ridiculous. I don't know if you guys can see that edge down there, but holy mackerel. That thing is stupid now. Alright, well. Obviously that works just fine, just like that. So they were only representing this as an electric wall setup, and I think at this point we can see that with just a little modifying, you can definitely use this with a Ryobi or equivalent. Drill's not hot, motor's not hot, didn't get hot. This thing is extremely sharp. You can see the blade edge that thing put on it. It is very sharp. So that definitely works. And I did get a few sparks. Obviously, if it was higher RPM, I wouldn't have to hit this so many times. I did a few on there, but this is ridiculously sharp now. I could probably etch my nail with this, no problem at this point. Oh yeah, look at that. Nail shavings. Yeah, okay. So, stupid sharp at this point. That grinder did an excellent job. So that's $7 investment right there. Cheap little bench grinder. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. Worked great, actually. I was very surprised. So just like I said, You know this will work now with your Ryobi drill, but you're going to need a piece of Velcro. And you can manage the speed just by pulling this back and setting it where you want it. That's what's nice about this, is I can manage the speed by using Velcro. I can choose the speed that I want, crazy fast, not so crazy fast, stupid fast, depending on what I'm doing. So this is kind of a nice little, nice little design. Very simple, very easy. Just remember, just keep this loose enough that all it's doing is just basically kind of holding this in place lightly. The shaft is taking most of the support, and the drill is resting on the plastic, so it's not actually being squeezed. Because if it was squeezing this head, it would be loosening or tightening this. And with the other drill, it has a whole space. It's supposed to slide all the way up to the column to right here. With this one, we're only getting the end of the tip. So just make sure you got it locked in real good, but clearly that works. So let's switch over to a big boy electric wall one and see what we get from that. Okay, now this is interesting. I can't actually use this one because of the way this sits. You can see how it rests on there. It doesn't line up with the groove. There's too much plastic. So this is going to be extremely dependent. This is going to be extremely dependent on how fat your electric wall drill is. It almost seems to be preferable to go this route. I guess I can't test further with this because clearly for that to line up, you can see where it would have to be, and not going to work. So that's too bad. I might be able to flip it upside down, and it might do better. Looks like it might do better that way, but then I'll have to prop up the end of it. Maybe not. I suppose I can do it this way. That's interesting. I didn't really want to do it that way. Let me see if I can lock this in and if it's going to create any problems once I start to tighten it down. But yeah, that's really interesting how that's working there. I'm not so comfortable with that. Not so comfortable. Let me try this, see if I can get this to work, because I really want to show you how this works, guys. Well, I might get it to work this way. I'm super skittish about this though, because this is not the best setup. I'm really going to crack this down over that plastic piece. That should hold like that now. Okay, I think that'll work. Yeah, it works pretty good. Okay, well, I got it to work. As you can see, it's huge now. It's about the same size as my normal bench grinder. Really not sure I'm digging that setup. It's cool. It's definitely cool. If you already just needed a quick, but every time you do this now, you're going to have to loosen that bolt, uncrank that. This will almost be dedicated to just staying there unless you want to keep tightening, loosening the bolt. Whereas with this, I can just slide it on and chink, and I'm done. Right? And then the Velcro strap, and that's that simple. But I guess if you need to do some higher speed work, this would definitely get that accomplished. So let's do this. Yeah, let me dull this blade up. We'll do this on cam for you guys. I'm going to take this over here, and I'm going to mar this whole tip up in front of you guys. Let me zoom out and start over. Yep, very dull now. So if it was sharp before, it's definitely a dull piece of crap now. That is full show. Okay, so move you back over to here. Put my safety glasses back on. Zoom this back in. I want to do a proper test for you guys. This will probably get sparks because it spins at a lot higher RPM. And this one has a locking trigger like I was telling you guys. I can actually turn this on and lock it in. Let's give it a go. Alright, it's definitely sharp again. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's definitely sharp again. It's got a good grind on it all the way across. So, however, I did notice under the RPMs, still no sparks from it. And it's having it like this is actually in the way of trying to get a proper grind. I kept like having to maneuver at a weird angle. This is not ideal. I'm not a huge fan of having to have this upright. It's so much better on its side because then I have a lot more room to work like this. And so, yeah. Did it get it sharp? Yes. I'm actually going to stick with probably the electric battery setup. It worked just as good, if not better. It took less time to set up and it was more efficient. So, this is cool, I guess, if you were leaving it permanent like that. But I think I prefer the Ryobi setup better. So, yeah, that's just me. Yeah, pretty good. Do I think, once again, I'm impressed by this TEMU Chinese product for under $10. These things are about $7 after you buy the grinder wheel and the base. Very easy to use. I showed you how to modify it so that it works with electric battery operated drills, and I showed you the regular way to do it. It is a very unique, pretty tool, cool tool to have in your arsenal of drill attachments. Stick around, guys. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. I try to thoroughly test these things and show you how to make them work if they don't work and get things going for you. I've got more drill attachments coming, I promise you. This whole drill attachment thing has me very intrigued at the moment as to what I can do with just my drill and how many tools I can alleviate at my house by not having to have them. Just having simple attachments like this. I'm digging this. I'm feeling this. So, another task accomplished. I feel good. I'll catch you later, America.